sorting and filtering data. This is kind of interesting. Let me open some data for you. Okay, so I have some data. Okay, let me just change this. Okay, so what I did, just let me show that to you as well. So I had some data here and I had some background colors for some reason. So I want to remove this background color. So what I do, I selected it. Okay, I went here and I did a no fill. So so all the colors which will go off. Okay. Now here I want to, before showing you sorting and filtering, I want to take you through some of the functions that we have here. So in the clipboard, we have the cut, copy, paste function. Okay. So either you can, take some value from here, you can cut it. Okay. You come here and you paste it. Okay. So cut, copy, paste. So either you can do paste. Sorry, there was some issue with my keyboard. Just hold on. Okay. Okay. So I just cut and pasted it. Okay, so you can do, there are many functions of paste. Okay, we will go through them when we do such examples. Okay, now if I come to the font group, okay, and what we have here is we have the font. So for example, this font, we can see it's in Calibri. You can change the font here. Okay, as per your requirement, or if the company or the firm has certain specifics, you can know the specifics and you can make the similar changes for the fonts. Okay, then you have a bold, italic, underline, whatever you want. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, then what you have is the borders. Okay, you can have borders. So for example, right now you see there is no borders here. Okay, how did we remove all the borders? If you see, whenever we have a new sheet, we have this rows and columns, okay, and the lines separating them. Okay, so how did we do this, that there are no borders? You go to view. Okay, and in the show group you have these grid lines. You uncheck them and you see all your borders are gone. Okay, all your borders are gone. Okay, so that is how we did this. And now if I want to put borders only for my data, okay, that's why we remove the grid lines everywhere, and only for my data I want to put borders. So what I do, I select my data completely. Okay, I go to home, color. Okay, so I have my background color of my cells. I can just select my this cell. Okay, and I can change it to something else. Okay, to show that okay, it is the header. And what I can do is I can select again everything. So how do I select my complete table or data? I just click somewhere. Okay, and I do Control A, but that I can select. Now come to this is the border, and I do all borders. Okay, now you see when I click outside, only the borders for the cells which I selected has been done. For others, we don't have the borders yet. Okay, what you can do is after this, you can do a Control A and do a thick outside borders. Now you see the border is a bit different than the internal border. The outer border is different. Okay, you can change the text color also. So for example, if I just take it to this, okay, I just change the font color to white so it looks good. Okay, you can increase the font size or you can decrease from here, or what you can also do is you can just go and click here and change the font size. By this you can change the font size also. Okay, and alignment, now you know what is left, right, center, and justified alignments. Okay, increasing intents and decreasing intents, which means how far you are from your ruler. So for example, because it's left centered, so if I say increase intent, it will, go away from this. Decrease intent means it will go near to this, the ruler. Okay, and then this is the angle of your cell. So for example, sometimes what happens is that for the headers we might need to change the font alignment. Sometimes we do it this way. Okay, then there are ways maybe we do it like this. Okay, so there can be such scenarios where you might need to do this. So this is how you would do it. Let me go back to the previous way we were by doing Control Z, and you know how to wrap around text, right? We did with the address. Okay, I think that is kind of good. This for now. One quick thing: there is something called as format painter. For example, there is a cell here which is white. You want this cell to have exact formats of maybe this cell. So what I do, I go to the cell and I press format painter. I go to another cell, my destination cell, and I go and press there, click there basically. So now this will have all the formats I did for this. That is white text. Okay, this background, muddy background. So if I write something, new cell, you see it is coming in white. Okay, so now let's see how can we sort or filter data. Okay, now to sort or filter data, what we need to do is we select the table first. Now, like I said, you how do we select a table? We do Control A. Now, how will Excel understand how big or small my table is? How does Excel always exactly selects the table that we want to? How does it know? Now, the trick behind this is whatever the column you have the last, okay, after which the next column is completely blank. Okay, after which the next column is completely blank. So if you see L, this is completely blank. Same for row. For row, it whatever column, whatever row it is, after which the next row is completely blank, it will take the row above it. So now if I click anywhere here and I do Control A, you see it just selected here till here because the next row was completely empty. That's why I selected till here. Same goes for column. Now if I just delete this L column, new cell came one step closer. Now if I do Control A, it's taking new cell as well. Why? Because there is no like completely empty column after K, right? L has some value, but because M doesn't have a value completely, what happened? Okay, okay. So now because M doesn't have a value completely, so it took till L. So remember this how Control A works. Okay. Now if I want to, let me just remove this. Don't need this. Okay. Now, if I want to sort data, now what is sorting data? Sorting data means you want to arrange your data in an ascending or a descending order. Okay, sorting means you are arranging your data in ascending or descending order. Let us see how we'll do it. So, you first do a select, or you can just remove, just be on this column on which you want to sort. So, for example, I have my job ID, I want to sort here. So click anywhere on the column. Okay, in the home tab, I have this editing group where I have sort and filter. Okay, I click on this and then I get sort A to Z. So now you see in job ID, my data is sorted. Okay, so first I have A, and then I have F, and then H and I. Okay, so like this, my data is sorted. Also, it is sorting like after A is sorted. So if I have this window where I have only A's coming in, then the next letter is sorted, then the next letter, like this, it is sorted. Okay, whatever you choose. You can also choose sort Z to A. So when I said sort Z to A, it does the opposite, from the largest to smallest. It is a decreasing order of sorting your data. Okay, so this was where we did a single column sort. We can also do multiple column sort. Okay, now let's see how do we do multiple column sort. I click here. Okay, and I do a custom sort. Now, why do we need a multi-column sort in the first place? Okay, imagine that we have this job ID. If you see here, ST man, how many do we have? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, now you see the salary of the people working in ST man is not sorted. So what I want is I need to sort this in descending order, but in a particular job ID, I want to see the employees whose salary is arranged in ascending order, which is smallest to largest. So basically, job ID will be the largest to smallest, and salary will be my smallest to largest. For this, what I'll do is see job ID is because I just now sorted it, right? So this is coming up with job ID is aligned with or ordered to Z to A. Same way, if I click on add, I just add this salary and smallest to largest. Okay, so remember job ID is a text column. Text column means where we store text data. Okay, so that's why we have order as Z to A. But because salary is a numerical column, because we're storing numbers here, it is automatically, Excel is automatically giving me smallest to largest order. Okay, now if I click OK, so now if you see this in ST man, so see job ID is sorted, right? Descending. S comes first, ST is coming, then man, then ST clerk is coming because M is greater than C, so came first. Okay. Now in this window, so we call this as windows where we have the same value. So for job ID, we have the same values here, so we are calling it as a window. Now in this windows, the salaries is sorted now in ascending order. You have 5 8 first and then 6 5. Okay, and going forward you have more and more. Same way for ST clerk, if you see, this is my window. Okay, ST clerk is a very big window. If you see now, data is now arranged in ascending order for salary, but obviously for the job ID it's descending. Okay, this is how you can do a custom sort by doing multiple levels. Okay, now a quick brief on the custom sort dialog box. So you can add, okay, you can add as many levels as you want. Okay, so for example, after job ID, maybe before salary, I want to sort them on manager ID level. So first sort by job ID, then manager ID, and then the salary. Okay, so you can do this. You can add a new level. So if you want to add the next level, so you need to select this and click add level, and you can select whatever you want. Now if you want to delete a level, then again you select this and click on delete level. You can also do is you can select a cell or a level actually, and you can copy it and you can add a new level here. Now another quick thing, if you want the salary to be sorted first, okay, and in case someone getting the same salary, then the job ID should be sorted. Then salary column should come first. Okay, and in that case, salary column should come first, and then clerk should come. So whatever you want the window you want to make of, that should be the uh, first level, and then whatever subsequent you want, you can add multiple levels after this, and you can delete a level as well. Okay. Hmm. Uh, Okay, one quick thing I just wanted to show you. In case you have multiple levels and you want to take this up and down. Like right now, the first is the job ID, and then it is the um, job ID is first, and then we have the salary. If I want salary to come first and then job ID, I can just take this and up using this. Or if I want to take it down, we'll click this again. Okay, this is how I can do it. Okay, one more thing. Now if I select this and I go to sort and filter, custom sort, now what happens is, if you see, I get this job ID. See, job ID and hired, these are the names of my columns. Okay, so I get the column names here properly. Why? How does Excel knows that these are column headers? In here, if you see, my data has headers which is selected. Okay, so because this is selected, whatever is coming in the first row becomes my header. Now, if this is not selected, I actually get column G, H like this. Okay, and now everything, even my the first row, there is also a value for that column, and hence if you see, for column H where it is salary and previously it was, smallest to largest, it is coming like this now. So if I click OK, now you see the first row went off because was also a value, right? And it has come somewhere in the middle. Okay, it has come somewhere in the middle. So always remember to do this whenever you have the column um, name coming up here. So you should always select my data as headers while you are sorting. Okay, okay. So now you know how to sort data. Next, what we will see is how do we do filtering on data. Mm. So what we do is, it's the same place where we do sorting of data. Okay, we go to the same place and we go for filter. Now first let us understand what does filtering of data means. Okay, now for example, let's understand this data first. Okay, this is a data for employees. Okay, a dummy data. Okay, for the employees. Now sorry, so what do we have here is, we have the employee ID, which means the ID of the employees. Sorry, it's the unique ID. Next, what we have is the name. Okay, the first name and the last name. Then we have the email IDs. Okay, and then we have the phone number. Next, we have the hire date, that is on which date the employees were hired. Okay, then we have the job ID. Okay, and then we have the salary. So job ID is nothing but in which job sections do they work. Few of them has man, few of them has clerk. Okay, man means manager. Okay, now next, what is the salary each of them are earning? Okay, then if they are getting some commission or not. Okay, then what we have is manager ID. So this employee reports to which manager, we can see that. And then we have the department ID, that is for which department, uh, which department we are getting this. Okay, or in which department we are this employees working. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we sort it or filter it? Now for example, I have this man coming in here. Okay, I want all the employees who are working in a particular department. Okay, I want all the employees who are working in a particular department. So what I do is, I go here, I go for sort and filter, I go for filter here. Okay, sort and filter, and I go for filter. I click on this drop down. Okay, so we get this drop downs on the column. Okay, and I click here. Now, well, like I told you, what I want for the man and the clerk. I click here. If you see, I have the filters coming in down. So I unselect all. Okay, I click here and I click only for the man. Okay, SA man. and maybe the ST clerk. Okay, if these two are what I want, okay, so I get here ST clerk and SM man. Okay, now only these two are shown, and if you see, there are so many rows which are hidden here. If you see, when we discussed about hiding rows, we used to get this kind of symbol, right, when we want to unhide. So see, all the rows are hidden. After 81 it is 109, and after 26 it's 77. That means all the rows between those are hidden, and we are only seeing what we selected here. Okay, so this is called filtering of data. Okay, so here we selected only some data here, what we wanted. Okay, now if I want everything, and I want most of them, and don't want to, maybe I don't want manager MGR, I don't want. Okay, I don't want this manager. I just can click on them. Okay, whichever I don't want, maybe three of them, and I click, or four maybe, and this I just click them. Okay, and I click on OK. So only whichever I didn't select, that will go off. So you have to see, if you want most of them, then you select all and then you unselect which you don't want. And if you want only few of them, then you unselect all and then you select only those you want. Okay, this is how you can do your filtering. You can do multiple filterings also. When I say multiple, means right now you selected job ID, you put some values. Now in department ID, I can just select few of department IDs in 40, 50 and 60. So now I have two columns on which I did my filtering. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now you know how to filter. One quick thing I want to tell you here is, if you have many columns, okay, and you don't know, then there's so many columns, you don't know which column has a filter, which column has doesn't have a filter. How will you see that? Here you have, if you see here, the drop down has changed. There is a funnel here. Okay, so when you see a funnel coming here, you will see that that column has a filter in it. Okay, and if you see this columns, they just have the drop down, they don't have a funnel in them. Okay, so whenever you see a funnel, you will get to know. Okay, um next is what you saw just now is where we selected the values. Okay, if I don't want to select the values, what we can also do is I can just type in things. Okay, let me just remove the filters first and I'll show you what I'm talking about. How to remove the filters? You can just click here. Okay, clear filter from department ID. Same way you can click here and you can clear filter from job ID. Okay, now if I want to type in my data. Okay, so what do? I click on maybe MGR. Okay, everyone which has MGR. So I have to AC MGR, FI MGR. This will automatically get selected, and rest of them will automatically be unselected. So I click OK. Sorry, and you see only whatever I selected is now coming in. Hmm. One quick thing now. Till now I was showing you how to select and unselect your data, right? Like by clearing from here. One quick addition to this is okay, so when you want to remove all your filters, you have multiple filters now. Okay, so for example, previously what we had a multiple filters here. If you see, I have in job ID and department. This is what we had earlier, right? When we want to remove multiple filters together, or just remove all the filters, one filter or multiple filters, I should do Control Shift L. Okay, and when I want to put the filters in, I do Control Shift L again. Okay, so with this, what I get, I don't get the filters as such, but I just get this drop downs coming in. Okay, so I don't have to go to home and then go to sort and filter to get this drop downs. Okay, I just do Control Shift L and Control Shift L. So you see, with this, I get the drop downs, or I can remove the drop downs along with the filters. Okay, this is the shortcut which we use. Now, moving on to the next topic. Okay, so when I do this, I just now showed you how to use this. Okay, there is something called as text filters and numeric number filters and the date filters. Now, what are these? So if you see the columns which I have shown here, right? So few of them has some text data like st man, st clerk, all these are text alphabets, right? Here what you have is the numeric data, which is salary data. Okay, so for salary data, I have the numbers coming in here. Okay, so for the numbers coming in here, uh there is nothing else, it's just numbers here in this column. But and this column, it is everything. It can have numbers, it can have text also, whatever it is. And there is this column higher date. If you see, it has date values. Okay, how do you know what kind of a value it is? Okay, so if you go to this place, okay, this is kind of an important thing you should focus here. So when I go to this column, I see that type as date. So if you see, date is coming up here. If I be here, it is showing general. If I come here, it is showing accounting. Okay, so basically number actually. Okay, so this means that each of the column is of certain type. Okay, and by this certain type, we can understand what kind of data it is storing. So for example, if the type here is date, I can understand, okay, it is storing some date type data. Okay, this is storing some number data because accounting stores only number data. It also has a sign. Okay, whether it's a dollar, whether the currency sign dollar or euro, whatever it is, it's storing the data. It also has a comma, like it's showing the hundreds together and separating the others with comma. Okay, so you see this one, this being the date. Okay, now I hope you understand that there we have different kind of columns. When you go to a numeric type of column, whether it's accounting or you see numbers. So for example, if I want, I can go here, I can put this in a number format. Okay, and if I do that, I can get this value. It's a number format, but we won't do, because we don't want to do any calculations with a manager id, right? Id is not something to do calculations with. Okay, id is something we do by we use to do some changes. Okay, so maybe I just want to see who is the manager id of this Kevin. It is 100, so I can just go to the employee id of 100, and I can see that, okay, the manager name is, okay, where is 100 now? 100 is Stephen King, right? Stephen King is the manager of the first um, row, which is Kevin. Kevin's manager is Stephen. So we don't want to do any mathematical calculations with it. So we no need to change it to a number. It's general, it's fine. Okay. Now, when you have a numerical type of column, which is accounting, you click on this and you get number filters. Number filters can be equal to some value. It does not equal, greater than or less than. Okay. You see this filters. Now I will go here for job ID, and now it is text filters. Previously it was number filters for salary. Now for text filters, we will have begins with, ends with. Now you see, this begins with and ends with makes more sense when we have a text value instead of a numerical value, right? Numerical value won't make any sense begins with. Again, when we went to numerical value, what we saw is greater than, less than. Obviously greater than and less than will not make any sense for numerical value. It will make sense only for your job id. Okay, because that's a text value. Okay, so if you go to date now, okay, you see it is date filters now. Date filters will have next week, this week, next month, last month, or equals, or before some date, or after some date, or between some date, tomorrow, today. Okay, all these filters date will have. Now you see the type of filters which is provided for each of the data type is very different from others. Only the ones which make sense for a particular data type is shown here. Okay. Mhm. Let's do some filters here. Let's do this job ID. So I want all the job IDs who starts with ST. Okay. You see ST man, ST clerk. So I just write begins with ST. Okay. Now you see I just get ST man, ST clerk. Also one thing, whenever you're doing filters, you see if you come here, 25 of 107 records found. Okay. Now what does that means? It means you totally had 107 rows here. Out of that, 25 matched my criteria, the filter which I put here. Okay, that's why 25 rows are coming up here. Now, again, let me just remove this. Control Shift L and Control Shift L quickly. If I go to a salary column, and if I go here, I do number filters here. Maybe greater than or equal to, let's put 6,000. Okay. Now you see 57 of 107 records select, which means 57 rows out of my 107 rows are the ones which matches my criteria, which and my criteria was the salary should be greater than or equal to 6,000. I can also have the other filters. See, most of them they show here. Okay, most of the filters they'll show here. But if I just say custom filter, now from here I can select which filters I want to show. Okay, and that filters only will be shown here. Okay, same for here. So for example, I want something between. Okay, between a range. For example, between 3,000 and 6,000. I want to see all the salaries. So what do I do? Greater than or equal to, I select here 3,000. Then I should select and it should be less than equal to. Then I select 6,000. So now I say 28 out of my 107 records match my criteria. And if you see the values, everything is between 3,000 and 6,000, with 6,000 included. Okay. Because I selected greater than or equal to. If you don't want to include 3,000 and 6,000, you should select only greater than and not greater than or equal to. Okay. Now I can just remove this filter. It was between. You see, I didn't select between. I went for custom filter, but now it shows me between because that's the operation I did just now. Okay. Always remember there is something called as and or. Okay, now what does this mean? I want to see, for example, only those salaries who either got 3,000 or they got 6,000. So I can do equals, and then I can do or, again I can do 6,000. Do I have any? Okay, let me just change my criteria again. Okay, custom filter or. Okay, less. Let me do this less than. uh is less than can go here, is greater than can go here. 3,000 and 6,000. And if you see carefully, I have done odd here now. So now I get all the rows. See, 79 out of 107 rows selected. These are all the rows which are getting salaries either above 6,000 or are getting less than 3,000. Okay. So now you know how to do sorting and filtering. Okay. Uh, quick few things now on sorting again if I come back. So if you go here in this row, in this drop down, you also get sorting here as well. So you have smallest to largest, largest to smallest. If you want to do this on a single column, you can go from here. This is a shortcut. No need to go to sort and filter and to do smallest, largest, or largest, smallest. Okay. If you want to do custom sort, then only you should go here because that is not available here. One thing you can do here is color sort. So for example, you have just colored few things. Okay. For example, you colored this. I'm just randomly selecting something and I colored them some with other color. Okay, I did this some other colors. Now I want to sort these first. Okay, I want to get the colored rows first. So what I do, come here. Okay, sort by color, and I can click this. Okay, so this color got sorted in the first. And if I go here and if I click this, so the color which I select is will come first. Remember, like in filtering, I can do multiple values at a time. I can also I can also filter by colors, but the issue there will come is I can just select one color. If I had multiple colors here, I could have just selected one color. I can't select multiple colors in a single go for filter. Okay, okay, cool. So this was about sorting and filtering. I have almost told you everything you can do with it, and this is needed so that you can be more productive with your uh, work.